Manchester, Jamaica. Weeks after Hurricane Melissa gone, floodwaters still there. What began as a tropical storm quickly turned into a hurricane. And is now one of the worst inland flooding events ever seen in this part of the island. Communities like Content, Williamsfield, Kirkvine and Porous are now partially submerged, with roads destroyed, crops washed away, animals dead, and many residents displaced.
We need help. We need it.
No water, no food, no light, no bed.
Can you get hold of your cancer medication?
Well, we have to try. We have to try. Can't give up. We have to try.
For a parish known for its elevation, its cool climate, and its red, bauxite-rich soil, this level of flooding was not only unexpected enough, this was unimaginable. But you see, beneath the surface of this disaster lies a deeper story, one that connects the floodwaters to the very hills that brought prosperity. Manchester's geography is complex and unique. The parish rests on a foundation of limestone, and the limestone accounts for nearly 90% of the parish's surface. The porous rock creates a landscape full of sinkholes, cockpits, caves, underground tunnels, you name it. It's a natural phenomenon that has defined the region for centuries. The Tainos and the Maroons that traverse this region can attest to that. In Manchester, there are three major mountain ranges: the Carpenter Mountains, the Mayday Mountains, and the Don Figueroa Mountains. These three mountains stretch across the parish, shaping its valleys and natural drainage. Yet, this limestone terrain that gives Manchester its rolling beauty also makes it incredibly vulnerable, especially when heavy rain falls. Because you see, the water don't just simply run off, it seeps into the ground, filling caves, underground passages, until there's nowhere else for it to go but up. Manchester has another dilemma that many people talk about. It is a land of few rivers, even though Jamaica is called the land of wood and water. And the rivers that are in Manchester are very small and unpredictable. The rivers that I'm talking about are like Alligator Hole River, Gut River, Swift River, Two River, and Hector's River. Hector's River in particular, it runs along the border of Trelawney and Manchester, and then it just vanishes underground for more than 4 miles before re-emerging as the One Eye River near Oxford Cave. That is just a reminder that, you see, this parish, water moves invisibly, beneath the ground, through cracks, caves, and forgotten channels. In ordinary times, this natural drainage helps prevent surface flooding, don't get me wrong. But when torrential rain come to this part of the island, like what happened in Hurricane Melissa, and this rain hit the limestone terrain that's already weakened by decades of mining, the balance just collapses, literally. Beneath Manchester's surface lies an entire hidden world. There are over 100 documented caves in the parish, ranging from shallow chambers to vast underground networks. The Guri Cave, near Christiana, stretches for over 3,500 meters, more than 2 miles long, making it the longest cave in the parish. Meanwhile, the Smoky Hole Cave, located in Cross Keys, plunges 194 meters deep, the deepest on the island. That's 1/8 of a mile. These caves are not just geological wonders, They're also historical landmarks. Long before the European colonization, the Tainos, Jamaica's first inhabitants, used these underground passages as shelters, ceremonial spaces, escape routes, you name it. And then centuries later, the Maroons also found refuge in these same caves, using them as hidden pathways through the hills, Today, these ancestral networks lie beneath the same ground, being hollowed out by bauxite mining. A sobering reminder that the land's ancient protections are being stripped away, brother. The story of Manchester cannot be told without the story of Bauxite. Bauxite, the great red dirt, Jamaica red oil, was discovered in Jamaica in the 1940s. Bauxite, the red ore used to make aluminum, me talking. This quickly became one of the island's biggest exports. Companies like Alcan out of Canada, Alpart and Windalco built massive mining operations in Manchester and neighboring parishes. Later, multinational giants such as Rusal of Russia and Hydro Aluminum of Norway took over on an even larger scale. For decades, these companies reshaped the land, cutting into mountains, draining valleys, leaving behind open pits and waste ponds, entire hillsides stripped bare, their natural vegetation gone. Without trees and topsoil to hold it, rainwater now flows freely into gullies and sinkholes, overwhelming the fragile limestone base. Mining has long been criticized by the Jamaican public for its environmental impact, but accountability has been very slow. In 2022, the Andrew Holness-led government of Jamaica filed a lawsuit against Windalco after a spill of toxic waste from its plant contaminated the Rio River, killing fish and destroying livelihoods across several parishes. It was one of the worst environmental disasters in recent Jamaican history, and nobody talks about it. Yet, despite the outcry, operations continue, often with limited oversight and minimal rehabilitation of mined lands. As a result, Manchester's hills are now pitted with abandoned quarries, loose soil, and the ground unstable. When Hurricane Melissa unleashed days of rain, the damaged terrain offered no resistance. Water pooled in the pits left by mining, and when those filled, it spilled into the nearby communities. What we are seeing today happening in Manchester is not just an act of nature, It's a combination of industrial negligence and government inaction. Because look now, weeks after Hurricane Melissa passed, the water still refused to leave. Communities like Content, Williamsfield, Kirkvine, Porous, people them still displaced. Some people lose everything, their homes, their farms. Right now, even them sense of safety them lose. The flood, it turned roads into rivers and yards into swamps. With Manchester's underground drainage systems already compromised, the water has nowhere to go. The parish's few surface rivers are too small to carry excess water. Instead, the flood just sits, stagnant, silent, suffocating. A haunting reminder that the land itself is overwhelmed, man. But you see, beyond the physical damage lies a growing humanitarian crisis. Hundreds, thousands have been affected, not only by the immediate flood, but by the long-term environmental fallout. Contaminated water sources, lost crops, unstable soil, all them things that now threaten the livelihood of the entire communities in and around that area. Many people are asked a whole heap of questions. A whole lot of questions are being asked right now, man. Who allowed the homes to be built in such vulnerable areas? Who monitors the safety of the old mining sites? And now, Mr. Government, you tell me, what protection exists for those now living on a landscape hollowed by decades of excavation that you authorized? Come on, man. In Manchester, the lines between natural disaster and man-made disaster is no longer clear. I don't know which was worse. Now you have experts that are arguing that this could have been prevented, or at least reduced. Reforestation, good idea. Stricter land use planning, good idea. A better regulation of mining operations, that probably could have saved people property, saved animals, and God forbid anybody that died, Instead, development continues unchecked. Critical warnings from scientists and many environmentalists, nobody now listen to them. The government of Jamaica faces a crucial choice: to continue granting mining licenses across ecological fragile terrain, or to finally prioritize the long-term safety of the people and the environment. But water goes slowly receding. But even when the water gone, Manchester's hills still tell a story far older than Hurricane Melissa. The hills speak of an island shaped by time and torn by industry, of mountains once walked by the Taínos and the Maroons, now hollowed and weakened by decades of extraction. The flooding of content, Williamsfield, Kirkvine and Porous is not just a result of the storm, It's a result of choices, poor economic choices, poor political choices, poor environmental choices made over generations and generations. But you see, the lesson is clear. When we strip the earth without care, the earth will eventually answer, man. And when it does, no hill, no mine, no man-made wall can hold back the flood. But where it goes out to the people of Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, St. Anne, Clarendon, everybody, St. Thomas, even Kingston, even though it's slightly touched. But everybody that was affected, man. So Mr. Government, you will go hold accountable now. When no natural disasters occur, we can't prevent them, but we can reduce some of the damages where them cause. The people them need you right now. We are going to see if this bauxite mining continue and for how long it does. Or we are going to make a change, or we are going to just wait until the next natural disaster. Again, this is Jamaica Business Journal. Remember to like, share and subscribe. And see you again in the next video.